Hello, welcome to this next video on methods. So in this video, we're going to look at public methods. We're going to look at getter methods, which are just methods that return a private value. And then we'll look at naming conventions for methods. So let's start by just remembering the issue we had last time, which is that in our player collision class, we have public access to coin.value and public access to obstacle.coinPenalty. So I don't want to be able to change coin.value by just going equals something and directly modifying it. What I would like to do is have coin be able to have this private int value, and I'll get rid of these comments again. And I'd like to have obstacle have private int coin penalty. Okay, and then in player collision, well, I can't set the value, but our problem is that now I also can't read the value. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how we can define a method that allows us to read the value without having to be able to change it. So I'll just show you what that looks like. First of all, we're going to start with public because we do need to access this method from outside of the coin class. We're going to access it over here. Coin.value, we're going to put something here to access the coin's value. And this method, I'm going to start with a capital letter. So fields are lowercase letters to start. Methods are capital letters. I'm going to call this get value. And methods always end with open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Sometimes we can put something in the middle, and we'll see that later on. But for now, this is the name of the method. And something needs to go between public and the name of the method, which is the return type. So that's what are we sending back from this method. And in this case, we want to read the value. We want to read that as an int. So I'm going to put int between public and get value. And then this is the signature of the method. Now I also need to open up these curly brackets, and I can put the instructions for the method in between. And what I'm going to do to be able to read this value is just return. So return is going to send some information out of the function, out of the method. I'm going to return value. So in this coin class, we can access this private field because we're in the class where that private field is defined. But over here in player collision, I still can't access value. But notice what I can access if I write dot is I can write capital G get V, there you go, get value. And so this actually pops up and it says it returns an int on the left hand side here. So I'll write get value, open and close those parentheses, and now this is going to return the value. So I have access to coin's value through this getter. So specifically this is called a getter method. This is the getter for value, and it allows other scripts to read a value. So I can read the value, but I can't write to it. I can't set the value or change it from another script. So that is the getter for get value. Let's just comment out this line in obstacle and make sure that that works to get the value of the coin. Okay, take the player and I'll make a drag the player into the coin, and it says 0 and 0, probably because these coins have had their values reset to 0, so they're not currently showing here. So we can just go to our coin script and make sure that these are serialized field, private int value. Okay, set the coin's values. I'll set this one to 5 again, and this one to 10, and test it to make sure that it's working. There we go, 10 and 5. So your challenge for this video is to go into the obstacle class and make coin penalty a private field and write a getter for it, write a getter method. And then call the getter inside of the call the getter instead of the field in the player collisions on trigger enter. So just like we did with the coin, make sure you can read coin penalty without being able to write to it. So I will let you pause the video and give this challenge a try. Okay, good job trying the challenge. So let's go to obstacle, and we will keep this field, serialize field, private int coin penalty. So we'll make sure it's still private, but we also need a getter for it now. Right, public int get coin penalty. And notice the naming convention with a capital G and also with capital letters for every subsequent word. Okay, and we'll open up our curly brackets and we'll just return coin penalty. So pretty much the most simple method we could have. It just returns a value. Okay, and in player collision, instead of printing coin penalty, we'll print the result of get coin penalty, which will just give us the value. Okay, make sure our obstacle has a value set. So coin penalty we'll make it 2 this time, and we will try colliding with the obstacle. And perfect, we see a 2 is being printed. So this makes our code a lot easier to debug later on, because we know that nothing is able to change this private int coin penalty, and nothing is able to change this private int value. They're only able to read it because we only have a getter defined. So that's what private and public are all about, and that's one use of methods. In the next video, we will keep exploring the uses of get components some more. So we'll see you there.